The Israel mob is going after Tucker Carlson, Laura Loomer, Mark Levin. I love seeing it. I love seeing how aggravated they get just when somebody speaks their mind. And they're going after him because he was recently speaking in Saudi Arabia at a panel regarding, Saudi Arabia itself. And the panel is hosted by the Real Estate Future Forum. Okay, so probably, bringing in foreign investments into Saudi Arabia. And he recently had this to say while he was there, and it's really setting them off, which is great. It's wonderful seeing just how much they get riled up. Take a listen to this.
Promote the Saudi government. And of course, this year, just a year later, it's like, yeah, of course, everyone's in Saudi. Like they're, and I'm glad to see that because it's reality based. I'm not here to promote the Saudi government. Of course, I'm American, but I think that Saudi Arabia is a fundamentally real country. It's an ancient country. It's the physical center of one of the largest religions in the world, and it is, of course, a force because of its resources and its diplomacy. So, like, I'm glad to see a real country get treated like a real country, like an actual country, not just a client of some other country. So, it's good.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if people had some ideas about those things?
I'll play a little bit more here in a minute. This is about 2 minutes long. It's a real country. I like how he says that because very clearly we know one country is a project in the Middle East. That's basically Israel is upheld by the billionaire elite. That's Israel's entire existence. I mean, birthright for Israel, bringing young Jews anywhere in the world to Israel, started by Charles Seagram, part of the Mega Group. Israel's entire existence, the largest private donor to the IDF, billionaire Larry Ellison. Israel is a billionaire project that's backed by elite with a massive lobby working in the United States that's not for America's benefit whatsoever. Israel's a project in the Middle East, occupying people that compromise 1/3 of its own population, completely unsustainable, relying on U.S. aid totally to survive U.S. military aid. Without U.S. weaponry, Israel couldn't stay afloat. That's basically what the Israel project is, and it really sets them off because people are starting to realize, okay, that aside, there's really two paths in the Middle East. There's one which is just investing in the Gulf Arabian countries, which only benefits America, foreign investments, receiving oil from the Gulf. And guess what? Oh, wait, we can get all of these benefits and we decide whether or not we even want to do it. And if we don't want to, whatever. And also, we get all of this oil and we don't need to give Saudi Arabia billions and billions of dollars. And whenever they want something from the United States, they purchase it. But with Israel, what are we actually getting? Oh, wait, nothing. Actually, all we do is fight Israel's wars, stack on billions and trillions of dollars fighting Israel's wars in the Middle East, giving foreign aid to Israel, having our media in the United States censored, having social media censored. We're losing American lives. Where does it really benefit America? It really doesn't, aside from these, the religious reasons that these evangelical Christians in the United States, along with the Israelis and Jewish Zionists, justify for the support of Israel. But in reality, it actually doesn't benefit America. And it wasn't really until now, back in the 1960s, presidents actually used to acknowledge this. But all of a sudden now there has been a warping of our media that doesn't allow for this honest conversation until very, very recently. And they're freaking out. They're really freaking out online. I'm going to show you what they had to say in a second, but let's just play a little bit more of this right over here.
You've spoken about the graciousness, the hospitality, the kindness before they commented on it from afar, because I think it's an experience which, once you've had, changes your perception.
Well, I strongly agree with that, and I've taken a lot of abuse in my country for saying things like that out loud. I'm, for whatever it's worth, a pretty fervent Christian. And I feel completely comfortable here in the seat of Islam, not because right. I mean, and why is that? And just saying that is a threat somehow to some people who are propagandists and liars. And but it's true, so I'm going to say it. And moreover, I think it points up like something that's really important about life, which is it's worth meeting people and seeing things before you try to assess them.
So let's just stop right there. Now, this set them off so much, guys. Let me go ahead and share my screen, show you exactly what they went ahead and said on social media. So as Christians, this is coming from Laura Loomer, as Christians to be massacred by Muslims in the Middle East, Tucker Carlson says he feels totally comfortable with Islam. He has sold out to Islam. Very interesting that Laura Loomer isn't talking about the settlers that are going around stealing Christians' land, massacring them, spitting on them, doing whatever the hell they want to them, calling them beneath them in the occupied West Bank. No recognition of that. Being massacred in Gaza, no recognition of that. It's only, it really, there's no obvious recognition that everything she's saying, her beloved country, her true Israel first shill, that's really exactly what they're doing to Christians. No recognition of that. So that's the first thing. Mark Levin then goes psycho. Let's see here. Tommy Robinson, and he called me a fraud. Again, another sort of guy. Where is it? Seth Dillon. Christianity is prohibited from public life in Saudi Arabia. Churches are forbidden, and Open Doors ranked the country 13th on its list of 50 most dangerous places for Christians. No recognition, again, of what's happening in the occupied West Bank and what they actually say to Christians as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing, let me see where it is. Here it is. But he knows how many people live in Iran. He just doesn't give a damn about them. He's a fervent traitor who supports Iran having nuclear weapons. He doesn't know how many people live in Iran. He just doesn't give, but he knows how many people live in Iran. He doesn't give a damn about them. What's so interesting here is he gives so much of a damn about Israel. He calls himself an American, but all he does is preach and support and talk about and do everything possible to make sure that Israel stays afloat. Mark Levin. He really doesn't give a shit. And actually, yeah, you know what? I think that there's an actual argument to be had, whether or not you support it, but there's an argument to be had about how the hell can we reel Israel in the Middle East? There has to be something to reel Israel in. We thought it was America. Right now, America's fully occupied. There would be peace in the Middle East if Israel was reeled in. There was actually one president that tried to reel Israel in, and it was President John F. Kennedy. And how did that work out for him? Okay, there's nothing in the Middle East that's reeling Israel in right now, except from the threat from Iran. That's just an objective truth. You can hate Iran all you want, but we're just noticing facts on the ground here. There's nothing reeling Israel in. How do you do that when Israel has occupied and pushed and majorly influences every Western government? I thought it was just America. No, it's not just America, guys. And if you've seen some of the interviews that I've been doing here, you'd recognize, oh, wait, they're also doing this in Argentina. They're also doing this in the UK. They're also doing this in Australia, heavily in Australia right now. They're pushing and exerting so much effort with their lobbies, not just with their lobbies, but also with their censorship networks, including the Anti-Defamation League here in the United States, DAIA in Argentina. There is also the analogous, I believe it's the Jewish Council of Australia, something along the lines in Australia, and they basically work all in concert. They hold meetings together, by the way. They state this out publicly, and they work in concert to suppress criticism of Israel by calling it anti-Semitic. Now, that doesn't seem like it's really working for the benefit of Australians or Argentinians or Americans. It seems like it's working for the benefit of only Israel. And it works, and they get away with it, and they pass legislation, and they push the IRA definition of anti-Semitism, which states you can't criticize, you can't give certain criticisms of Israel because they're deemed anti-Semitic. That's what the one side is pushing. That's what the one side is pushing. The Gulf Arabian countries, really, you could work with them or you don't need to work with them. It's America's choice because guess what? There isn't that sort of exertion where they want to control everything. There really isn't. There really isn't that sort of exertion on American foreign policy where they are actually begging for U.S. military aid, begging for $3 billion a year. The only reason America gives $3 billion a year, by the way, or $1.5 billion to Jordan, I believe $3 billion to Egypt, correct me if I'm wrong, another $3 billion to Israel, is because of the fact that Jordan and Egypt have peace agreements with Israel on the negotiation that America backs their countries and keeps them afloat. The only reason that those countries have any sort of peace with Israel is because America funds their peace. It gives them money. Why is America doing that? Well, America is doing that because of the Israel lobby. America is doing that because it wants to make sure that the Israel project is cushioned on both sides and it's protected by, so that way it can ensure its existence, and it's all bankrolled by America. How long is America going to do that? How much is our national debt? Are we just going to keep piling this on? Well, that's what Israel offers. So American politicians really need to wake up and smell the roses and stop being backed by this foreign project and recognize that America is headed towards bankruptcy if we keep this up. Anyways, guys, that's really it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and also give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Also, I just recently started membership, so if you want to support my channel, I'd appreciate it if you join as a member. It helps me do this as a full-time job for you guys. That's about it. See you guys in the next video.